What does it say there?
Hi, I'm Eric Sabria, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Week That Was. Good morning to our viewers who are chiming in as well. I'm Saeed Khan, and we are joined by two of our three veteran lawyers. Got it there, okay. Joel Sklar and Bill Seikaly, labor and community activist Barb Ingalls, veteran journalist Nancy Derringer, and, of course, co-founder of Deadline Detroit, Allan Lengel. Well, I don't know about you, but I was enjoying a fairly peaceful slumber until about 1:30 in the morning last Saturday. And then my phone blew up because the United States and Israel attacked Iran. As far as the war goes, one of the targets was Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who was killed in apparently what reporting is today, 50 Israeli fighter jets attacking his compound. I thought that was a little bit excessive, but then I'm, of course, not a military man. But so far, the war is raging. It is something that has metastasized to include really the entire region, with conflicts occurring in Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Lebanon, as well as Israel. Some actions even in Azerbaijan and Cyprus, to be noted.
Did you mention Sri Lanka?
I was about to get to Sri Lanka because of the fact that the United States actually targeted and destroyed an Iranian naval vessel as it was returning from training exercises with India. 87 killed, 32 actually survived but left for dead. And it was the Sri Lankans who jumped in the water to, well, metaphorically speaking, I suppose. And it was completely unarmed because it was a training exercise, and it was in international waters. I mean, so that was just one of many elements of this. So I'm just going to open up the floor. Whomever wants to comment. Allan,
play the video first.
Let's play the videos.
You're going to ask Americans to sacrifice this much for yet another illegal war in the Middle East. Can you at least explain why we're doing it? Okay? Team Trump, get your heads together. Please, just give us one clear explanation. Should be an easy question. Why are we at war with Iran?
In a phone call after the attacks, Trump told the Washington Post that his main concern is, quote, freedom for the Iranian people.
Iran does pose an imminent and direct threat to the United States of America.
Iran has posed an imminent risk to the United States for 47 years.
We went proactively in a defensive way.
We had to remove a murderous regime.
Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That would be the ultimate military objective.
Is regime change, as you see it, the objective here?
Absolutely. To me, it is.
This isn't about regime change.
This is not a so-called regime change war. But the regime sure did change.
If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon.
Now, Nancy, Nancy, as our show's resident grammarian and just in general philologist, I have to ask what would be your... Bill was miming something, but what would be your definition of imminent? I mean, how long is it? Because 47 years seems to be a little bit long there for
it's like
rather zombified senator from Arkansas, Tom Cotton.
Yeah, it's like Trump and his famous 2 weeks. You know, we've got the healthcare plan is coming in 2 weeks, and we're going to have a new budget in 2 weeks, and we're going to do this in 2 weeks. So I think imminent is just one of those incredibly elastic words that they just purpose for whatever they want.
And yet during that entire 47-year period, I believe we were in transacting with them during the what was it called, the Iran-Contra affair, with that same imminent threat. So
The 47 years thing came up so quickly and almost simultaneously, coming out of like hundreds of mouths and keyboards all over the world and the internet, or all over the United States and the internet, that it made me wonder once again, like, how do I get on the mailing list for the memo of the day, the talking point of the day? Because that it's just the 47 years thing. And it's like, and you know what really chaps my ass about all of this? Why did they have a revolution in Iran 47 years ago when Moi was in college? And remembers, because we had Ohio University had a really good intensive English program, and we had a lot of Middle Eastern students who would come in for like a year, learn English, and then transfer out to a school where they could study petroleum engineering or something else. There were not constant, but frequent demonstrations on campus by Iranian students wearing bags over their heads, like the unknown comic kind of bags. I mean, it was almost comical, holding signs, "Death to the Shah. The Shah is a murderer." Yeah, kill it's like Shah. Kill the Shah. And it's like, why did they have this revolution 47 years ago? Because we installed a murderous strongman in order to protect Western oil interests in that area. And for all the talk about, Iran used to be this paradise where women could wear pantyhose and not cover their heads all the time. It's like, yeah, but it was also a place where the secret police could grab you off the street and torture you. So, I mean, if you're going to talk about 47 years, then at least have the decency to read a couple of Wikipedia articles about what it was like 47 years.
Nancy, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to object with you using the facts and truth in this discussion.
Object! I object!
Not fair.
Objection overruled. We are now joined by attorney Steve Fishman. Alan, before we go to you, just to answer your question, Nancy, the reason why they waited till 79 for the revolution, I mean, as a historian, is they wanted to make sure you'd graduated high school first. Alan.
I'd say a little bit of the difference. In 2003, the U.S. went under the pretense that Saddam Hussein had nuclear weapons and all that. And I think, about a Kurd, Chalabi, had convinced them that that was true. And so when they were talking, at least they believed it. But in this, and I think I've told the story before, I was at a party around the block. My neighbor used to invite all the embassies over. The Israeli embassy was over there one day, and I was talking to an attorney whose wife worked in the embassy. It was 2003. The U.S. had not yet invaded Iraq. And I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "What do I think?" He says, "We don't think they have nuclear capability." He goes, we're worried about Iran. He says, Iraq, secular, Iran, religious zealots. He goes, we're worried about them. But so when that happened in 2003, I believe that the U.S. actually believed it. But now they don't believe. I mean, when Trump says, they're going to have nuclear weapons in 2 weeks, that we're doing it for regime change. We've seen Gaddafi. We got rid of Gaddafi. What do they have there in Libya now? It's just a fucking mess. We had a success with it.
Leadership vacuums rarely turn out well.
Well, Alan, the other parallel is, I mean, in 2003, you had a Kurd named Chalabi. Now Trump is being persuaded by a Kurd named Netanyahu. That's not true. He's Polish, I know. But from the standpoint that, I mean, looking for a justification with no mission objective, there is that in common. The latest sort of scuttlebutt is that part of the impressionable George W. Bush agreeing to the war was because his daddy was targeted by Saddam Hussein, and apparently Trump. And by the way, if you're a numerologist, folks, 47 years since the revolution, Trump is the 47th president. But
Jazz hands.
Put that on your Powerball choices this week.
And Perry Johnson's going to save us 47-47. So go ahead. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's all happening. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. But the whole idea that Trump now is saying that well, they tried to assassinate me in Butler, Pennsylvania, while I was campaigning. He actually believes this. So forget the fact that most people think it was staged anyway. It was the Iranians behind a staged or allegedly staged assassination. Bill.
Okay, a couple of things. One, Allan, I think some people in the American government believed in 2003 that there were weapons of mass destruction. I don't believe most people. I don't believe that that was a rational justification. 2003, very few people thought. Very few people outside the government were really saying, "Oh yeah, that's the good reason." Secondly, I think we all just need to agree. You know, this government was a bad government. This was a terrible government. And if we and that's the real reason that people are saying, "Oh well, it's okay." And we don't need to really vote on the War Powers Act because there were such bad people anyhow. It's good that they're killed. But if that's a justification, when are we going to bomb Putin? When are we going to take? I mean, there are all kinds of bad actors in this world, and that in and of itself has not ever been a good justification for doing this. I think the most realistic justification, if I wanted it to be kind to the Trump administration, by the way, I don't, is that there probably was intelligence that if the Israelis bombed Iran, then the Iranians were going to come after America as well.
And that is Secretary of State Rubio's
he made the mistake of telling the truth.
Sliver of candor that he said that part out loud. But irrespective of that, it meant that we were taking the lead from what Israel was doing, and we couldn't control Israel from attacking because
what did we do to try and stop Israel from doing that?
We would have stopped. It's a bullshit argument. I mean, the U.S. could have told Israel, do not go in there, and that would have been the end of the story. Exactly. They're pretending like, oh, we can't control Israel. Bullshit. And Bill, you're right about the skeptics. I just said people like Colin Powell and Bush and Cheney and Rumsfeld. They may have all believed, but you're right. There was certainly skepticism. Like I say, the Israeli guy told me, and I went to the foreign desk the next day at the Post, and I told them, I said, look, they're saying Iraq does not have nuclear weapons and nothing. You know,
Hey, Allan,
Judith Miller from the New York Times was bullying the military into going and looking for weapons and pushing the whole narrative that there were nuclear weapons, and she was.
Hey, Allan, while you were at the Post, then was Carol Murphy there?
Yes. Oh yeah. Carol. Oh yeah, Carol's a good friend.
Yeah. She's a terrific journalist on the Middle East. Barb.
Yep.
In 2003, millions of Americans hit the streets because they didn't believe in this war. They didn't believe anything that George Bush had to say. From coast to coast, there were like nonstop demonstrations. There was a huge one in Washington, D.C., Allan, if you remember. We got to see it then. But it didn't stop them because they had an objective, and that was the oil. That was the regime change. It had nothing to do with how bad Saddam Hussein was. None of that. There's such an air of deja vu in all of this. And I do want to point out that one of the names that has been floated by Donald Trump's administration to replace the Ayatollah in Iran is the son of the Shah. Who lives in the
that he didn't think so because
I think he's a bit tepid. Yeah, I think he's a bit tepid right now, Barb, on the update. But I mean, certainly the Iranian diaspora has mobilized a very loud and vocal segment of the diaspora to sound as though he's the new leper messiah for Iran. Who, by the way, I'm sorry, Allan. He never has answered the question about whether he will allow democracy in Iran. And when asked about his father's atrocities and brutality, he says, in the same way as Trump does about the Epstein files, let's just move on. So,
I was going to say, I could see heading up Iran, Mark Wayne Mullins. I think
so dumb.
Dumbest guy in the Senate, maybe besides Tommy Tuberville.
Well, apparently, I guess Trump wants to have an appointment to the Iranian Guardian Council because they select, actually, the Assembly of Experts selects the leader. Trump also wants an unconditional surrender. But there's two candidates right now who are, I think, on the short list. One is the son of the killed supreme leader, and this is Mustafa Khamenei, and continuing with kind of the same rhetoric that we're going to shed Trump's blood more from just his ear, I think. And then the other candidate, which I thought was really intriguing, was Hassan Rouhani, who's the former president of Iran, and more importantly, was the one negotiating for the Iran nuclear deal back in 2015. If that's the calculus, then that's the moderate, and that's probably about as moderate of a person as you're going to get. Very pragmatic, very measured person, but I guess that doesn't really work these days in Washington.
Well, I mean, look at since when, this just amazes me, since when does an American president say, we're going to war, and by the way, I'm going to be the guy who's going to pick the new leader?
I know. It's insane.
And doing that in more than one country. Remember Venezuela.
Venezuela, but that's the point. I mean, look, it's, we've only done regime change correctly once, and that was in Germany. And what did we do? We went in and rebuilt the goddamn country. We did a better job there, by the way, than we did in the Civil War. But this regime change stuff doesn't work, and I can't believe we haven't figured that out. I mean, how many times does it take?
Well, this seems to be more. Steve, go ahead.
It seems to me that the figure that most people ignore, although a lot of the people who know what they're talking about on television and in the newspaper don't ignore it. This is a country of 92 million people, right? Fewer than half. I'm sure it surprised me, but fewer than half. I mean, you've got all kinds of different people there, right? People think it's a homogeneous society. Are you kidding me? And then they're talking about they're going to try to get the Kurds. What percentage of the population is Kurdish? 5%, something like that.
Not 5%.
And do they really think that the rest of Iran is going to say, "Oh yeah, sure, come on in. You guys have a nice record of being really kind to your subjects and things like that." And I think that because what the administration is doing and talking about and suggesting is so ridiculous that people are trying to come up with ways to make sense out of it, and you can't make sense from nonsense. I mean, and that's all we're getting. That's all they're spewing is nonsense. So whatever way you want to phrase it and what you want to call it, it's all nonsense. He's going to pick from the two people. I mean, are you kidding? Where's the precedent for that? That's what I'd love to know. So,
you know who else hated the Kurds was actually the Shah. So the fact that they do this with the prospect of possibly the Shah's son coming in.
The Kurds are a minority everywhere they live.
Right.
They've been asking for a homeland for quite some time.
And have basically been screwed by everybody.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Trump is, again, all he does is create chaos. And I think that's all he cares about. I don't think he has any plan for the future. I think he wings it. He doesn't, Hegseth doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I mean, they're winging this thing. And it's to create chaos worldwide. It's to stir the pot. This is Trump's way of being. He's getting older. He's getting more cognitively impaired, is my guess. His pathologies are becoming more pronounced because that's what happens. He has less inhibitions. He is emboldened by what he believes is his own past success. And so creating this chaos and going on these video game killings, as far as he's concerned, he doesn't have any compassion for everybody who dies. Those 150, 140 girls in a school, I mean, he has no compassion for that. But this is Trump's want. He wants the world to be as chaotic as he is. He needs the world to be as chaotic as it is for him to survive and to claim that he needs more power to govern what he destroys. So this is the pathology.
I agree with you, Joel. I'm beginning to believe that Bibi said to him, "Hey, look, they can't kick us out as long as we're in a war. It's part of the structure of my government, but believe me, they're not going to kick you out if you're at war. You're going to take care of these midterm elections if we're at war." I can see that conversation happening.
Expanding his powers is what he's doing, and what he'll continue to do.
Nancy.
You're a Mideast expert, Saeed. I don't know how big a part of your portfolio Iran is, but could you give us the well-informed, non-hysterical opinion of whether the Iranians are likely to carry out some sort of large-scale attack in this country? Whether, shooting up synagogues, another 9/11, etc. I mean, what do you think it could happen here?
And when you're done with that, could we have the hysterical version as well?
Yeah, that would like the hysterical version. That'd be a great version.
Oh, well, Bill, for you, I'm going to actually compare. I'm going to combine them. No, it's never going to happen. But in all seriousness, the answer is no. I think that
okay.
No, and I'll tell you why. The Iranians actually have respect for the longer arc of history and civilization. They're not a people who are into deception. They're not a people who are into a dishonorable fight. If you actually see, when you get past sort of the firewall of Ellison-controlled media and all in the United States, what has been the targeting in Iran's estimation around the region? Going after American bases, which in a war that seems to be the most likely target, the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, or the Fifth Fleet of the U.S. Being serviced in Bahrain, the Al Udeid Air Force Base in Qatar, U.S. Central Command in Qatar, the embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, has one of the 2 CIA offices that are on the front lines coordinating the military plans and the destabilization of Iran within Iran. One is in Riyadh, the other is in Dubai. Both of those were targeted. I always look at what is not being targeted, despite the fact that the United States and Israel, as Joel, you said, they're going after hospitals, they're going after schools. And no, none of these are the sites of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Council. The easiest thing for the Iranians to do in the Middle East, especially these Gulf countries, is take out their desalination plants, because they have no other means of getting fresh water. That would be a population that would die of thirst. Iran just doesn't play that game. And so the idea then that they would strike especially civilian targets in the United States is just not part of their playbook. I would be much more worried though about false flags. For example, there was the allegation that an Iranian drone hit the British military base in Cyprus. Even the British Defense Ministry came out and said it didn't come from Iran. Similarly to the oil fields in Saudi Arabia, and I believe there was one more. The airport in southwestern Azerbaijan. If you get outside the United States, and not by paranoid and conspiracy theorist voices, they all say that these are false flags coming from Israel.
I want to add one more thing and then move on. If that were to happen, or if there were a false flag that was enough to convince people in Washington, I could see that leading to some sort of nuclear response, perhaps, or something close to it, or something here that would be the essential equivalent of it, like canceling elections or some other kind of top-down martial law kind of.
Well, he's the president has been saying that he blames Iran for making him lose the 2020 election because they hacked it. But I think the more severe thing that you have to worry about, if there is that scenario, is you might have to look for a new host, because they're going to round me up too. No, I'm serious. I think if you see what's going on right now with Congressman Randy Fine introducing a bill to suspend all migration of Muslims, and that's signed on by Andy Ogles from Tennessee, there is some bubbling going on in the brew.
Wow.
For these
I
kinds of
don't
things.
disagree.
And contrary to my acting debut there, Bill, I'm not a hysterical person.
Yeah, no. I think that was a great analysis. And Nancy, I mean, I think that there's little doubt that Trump will use this or any other mechanism that he has to try and cancel the midterms or somehow seize control of the midterm elections.
Yeah.
That's not going to surprise me.
Yeah.
And look, what was Trump's very first move as when he was first elected president? The Muslim ban.
Right.
You know, I don't think he'll I don't think he'll stop at anything.
I just want to address. I agree with Saeed about no, Iran's not going to attack, but we always have the lone wolves. People,
that's what I was thinking. Like the lone wolves
become outraged if somebody's been radicalized or somebody who's just so frustrated. We see it all the time. We saw it even in Boulder, Colorado. I think it was an Egyptian guy who attacked these people who were demonstrating on behalf of the hostages, and we see it all the time. And so, but I agree. I'm Iran, that maybe not, but Hezbollah, I think some of its proxies are.
I don't even see that, Alan, because if Hezbollah wanted to mobilize quote unquote sleeper cells, it would have had ample opportunity and occasion to do so far. Remember that was directly because of things that were happening to Lebanon. I mean, if in 2006 that didn't then create a sense of sleeper cells, they're not going to do it because it's happening to Iran.
No, I agree. I don't mean Hezbollah here in the U.S., but Hezbollah, I don't know that has the same standards in terms of attacking, citizens, just innocent citizens. So. But anyway.
Yeah, good point. All right. Joel, did you have your hand up?
Nope.
Oh, or Barb? Yeah.
I think the notion that we are helping Armageddon come along to these people are that nuts, and Pete Hegseth is that nuts.
Oh God.
And I think that's really, if bombing Tehran with a nuclear bomb is going to get them there. Then they want to hurry up to Jesus, and I wish they'd go.
Well, and that's what's being reported, Barb. That apparently people are saying that military commanders in the U.S. are telling troops that, to borrow from Sanford and Son, this is the big one. Trump has gone ahead and put out, I think, what is it called? The signal beacon is Iran, to usher in the second coming of Jesus and Armageddon. So while Hegseth is giving press conferences saying that we're trying to take out a religiously zealous regime in Iran, here he's going ahead and Christianizing the U.S. military as being the purpose of this. And then Netanyahu is just simply calling Iran Amalek. And leaning into Purim. By the way, happy Purim. That this is. By the way, how come you guys don't dress up, man?
I am.
Right. And here I just thought it was AI, but the fact that they're openly invoking this, and I imagine that Israeli society doesn't drink the Kool-Aid about the religious invocations as much as evangelicals here do. So that's just my take. But it's bad, Barb.
You want to do a commercial?
Let's go to a commercial.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Well, I think it's safe to say that if anybody has had at least as bad, if not worse, week than Iranian leadership, it was Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. And I think, Allan, we've got video.
Yes, I'm sorry, I was switching here.
No,
Kristi Noem, let's see here. Shit. I'm sorry, I'm having a problem here getting it.
It's the best.
Keep going, and I'm sorry.
Sure. Well, let's see. As we know, she no longer has her job as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. She now has some other strange title, Savior of the West. What is it?
Shield of the Americas.
Yeah.
Captain America.
An organization that has not been announced yet. They're going to announce it tomorrow.
Okay.
Somebody on MSNBC said it sounded like something the president thought up after he had seen an Avengers movie. So, Shield of the Americas. But yeah.
But the fact that she actually had to testify before Congress was the impetus for it. He didn't fire her because of her incompetence. He fired her. Oh no. Allan's left to change costumes. But he apparently what got under Trump's skin is because she, under oath, testified that Trump knew about the $220 million ad campaign that she had going.
Yeah,
I got the video now.
Okay.
But don't play coy with us, U.S. Congress. If you've got a question to ask Kristi Noem, just ask it.
So, Secretary Noem, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Holy shit. Finally, one of these hearings is going to get interesting, you know? First time Kristi Noem wanted to be like, lo siento, no hablo inglés. But hey, here's your chance to put this whole Corey Lewandowski rumor to bed. Bad choice of words. Either way, Kristi, set these people straight.
I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today in the federal government. So reclaiming as an advisor, it has no authority to be making, and it is okay for you to have no authority to be.
Hey, let Kristi Noem finish. At least that's my advice to Corey Lewandowski.
Wow. That actually happened. You know, about 100 years from now, archivists, historians are going to be reading through the congressional record. And I just wonder what's going to be the look on their face when they're reading this stuff and thinking that such a government as this actually existed.
Did you see when she was being questioned, I think, by Sheldon Whitehouse, and they show the bed on the plane?
Yeah.
She goes, what am I looking at? She goes, well, it looks like a bed.
And then over her shoulder, her husband looking like, well.
Cold.
See,
but really, while it maybe got people's attention, really that's the least of her worries. She didn't get canned because she's screwing around with Lewandowski, or she isn't screwing around with Lewandowski. You guys hit it on the head. She got canned, as does everybody that's ever come into contact with Donald Trump. She got canned because she actually told the truth. Yeah, he knew. And he can't stand that. All the other stuff, look, she should have been canned how long ago? Months ago, right?
She should have never been.
Yeah, I mean, well, we can say that about most of his cabinet, but she had done enough. Just her cross-examination from Tom Tillis, I don't know if you guys saw that. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And what gets her in the end? Of course, it's always the same thing. She somehow tried to push a little bit of responsibility off to Trump, who takes responsibility for nothing. So
it's not the killing of two people in Minneapolis. Right. It's not the arrest of the 5-year-old. It's on and on. Not any of the substantively horrific things that she did. It's not protecting Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bill, you know the time-honored and long historical adage, it was beauty that killed the beast. But in this whole morass now, we're hearing that Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, which I saw a really interesting meme that apparently his mom named him Mark Wayne because she couldn't remember which of her brothers was his dad. But anyway,
I thought maybe it was because they already had a Jethro and a Cletus, so they needed, Mark Wayne. That's my classist joke.
But Mark Wayne Mullen not a college grad, but throwing shade on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who did have a degree in honors from Boston University in international relations, calling her just simply a bartender because she was waiting tables in order to pay for her education. But he apparently is the sycophant who draw the short straw and is now designated to be, if he survives the nomination hearings before Congress or the Senate, for the position. By the way, he was the guy who was cowering in a corner on January the 6th, 2021, when the Capitol was being stormed by the insurgents. So
he's a mixed martial arts fighter, or former mixed
a former and failed mixed martial arts artist or athlete, and also a plumber. I think he failed at that as well. But I think more importantly, that if he does pass the nomination, he's going to have to sleep with Corey Lewandowski, because I think the trend has been set.
You know, it's interesting that all the Michigan delegation of Congress were hailing the firing of her. The Republicans were totally silent. It was only Representative Bill Huizenga, the congressman from Michigan, who said, "Congratulations to my friend, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, on his appointment as the new DHS Secretary. You will be a great addition to the administration, Mark Wayne." So,
was there any comment from John James?
No, no, you know, not that I saw. I mean, I looked at everyone's social media from all the congressional delegation.
Because with Mark Wayne moving over, I think that makes John James a sycophant whip. Isn't he like next in the hierarchy?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, Trump is still not having a great week. Let's see. Question: who knows where our bomb shelters are in Detroit? I'll wait. And also, Allan, do you have the video of Mullen wanting to fight a union rep at a Senate hearing?
It was the Teamster president.
It was Sean O'Brien.
And it was just so ridiculous. Yeah, you want to fight? Yeah, okay, come on.
You stand up. No, you stand up.
Yeah. No, I'll get it for the next show.
And then Bernie Sanders going, "You're a United Senator."
I wrote the damn bill. What are you guys doing?
Now we talked about the idea, Bill, that there is, I think, a genuine and legitimate fear of how the president could go ahead and undermine the midterm elections or suspend them. Well, there was an election this past week, and that was some states had their primaries, including Texas. And there were a couple of major races. First of all, Crockett lost the primary. He got primaried out, arguably because he wasn't MAGA enough. But
Crockett. You're talking about Jasmine Crockett?
No, not Crockett. I'm sorry. What's the name of the guy with the Crenshaw?
Oh, Crenshaw. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But Jasmine Crockett did get primaried by James Tallarico on the Democratic side.
Right.
Someone who seems to be center-left, certainly is unapologetic about invoking religion, trying to reclaim religion from MAGA. And then in the Senate race, it looks like John Cornyn was able to squeak past Attorney General Ken Paxton to force a runoff. Right. I'm thinking about cricket. I'm sorry, but now comes word that Paxton might drop out of the race if he can get a pledge that there will be Cornyn support for the Save America Act and a couple of other things. So, is he worried that he's not going to get Trump's endorsement and it could create a landslide? Steve.
Well, what I read today, I think in the Post online, was that Trump intended to endorse Cornyn and basically tell Paxton that he should drop out and therefore save all the money and save all the aggravation from the additional primary. Personally, I don't know the guy, obviously. I'd be surprised if he drops out. I really would. I can't. First thing, the guy promises to vote for the Save America Act. Has there been a truth teller in the Republican Party in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
I promise I'll do it. I promise, really.
And they've already spent they've already spent $70 million on that campaign.
And it was so close. What was it, 42 to 41%?
Yeah, it was like 43 to 41. Yeah.
Well, and had not been. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think he's going to drop out. I hope he doesn't drop out. I hope they spend another $70 million, and maybe Tallarico has a chance. You know, we've seen this before. We've been optimistic before in Texas and it didn't work out, but maybe, keep in mind, there's one thing that maybe I was a little late. Every day you drive by that gas station, on my way to the gym, I look and see what the price of gas is. And I'm telling you, if it gets up $3.80, $3.90, $4, someone's going to pay for it, because the public has no involvement, right, in war, other than the 5 or 8% of the people who have kids who actually go to the military. But they all got involvement in buying gas. And if they see that,
well,
that's my opinion at least.
And gas affects the cost of everything, because everything gets to markets via gas. So, I mean, it fuels inflation. It would be a disaster. So,
speaking of being in the military and drafts, apparently the White House was asked the question that why doesn't Barron Trump go and fight? And they said, oh well, he's too tall. He's 6'7" or 6'9", and then someone had to remind them that David Robinson, 7 foot, was in the Navy. So there you go.
Yeah.
Do you guys follow Borowitz?
Andy Borowitz.
Yeah, Andy Borowitz had a great story on that. He said Barron went to the doctor to have his feet examined to make sure that he had bone spurs. The doctor said he did not. He threw himself on the floor and he said, "My future is over." And Trump announced that he was being treated very unfairly. He needed to go to another doctor, and he was sure he would have bones.
Jack White posted on Instagram. He said, "Don Jr. and Barron won't have to fight or die, just other people's children. So invade and bomb away."
Yeah, and who was it that then started to troll Jack White? Was it Kid Rock, or who was it? Somebody famous was going after Jack White, which was really ill-timed and stupid. So is Crockett running for her House seat in November? I hope so. Actually, Crockett was defeated in the primaries by Tallarico.
You have this wrong. I mean,
go for that was for the Senate seat.
They were seeking a Senate seat.
Right.
So
okay, I stand corrected.
Still enough time for her to run for the.
I stand corrected.
That's it. Yeah, and I think question. My guess is that that'd be a cakewalk for her. So.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Bill and Steve and Joel, that as attorneys, some states do allow the person to retain their seat and be eligible to run again, and some states actually make you relinquish your seat, right?
That's
what
true.
The election is. I have no idea what the election is.
Her seat's up. She's a member of the House.
Right.
All House seats are up in this.
No, meaning that once she registers to her candidacy for one office, does that disqualify her from running for?
Depends on the.
That's what I'm saying.
It depends.
Wasn't her seat redistricted though? I thought her seat was being redistricted, and that's why she jumped and ran for Senate anyway. I could be wrong about that, but I thought that's what I read.
We can look this up and revisit it for next week if you'd like. Let's see. Karen is saying in my Oprah voice, "You get a baby, you get a baby. The entire audience gets a baby." Actually, it should be, and you get a baby, and you get a baby. Well, I'll tell you that Trump lost his baby, and that is tariffs. He apparently lost an appeal to delay the Supreme Court's decision on the tariffs, in part because he faces over 2,000 lawsuits to collect refunds. Was that a frivolous appeal, or is that something that you can file an appeal to delay a Supreme Court decision? Because I thought that was supreme.
My guess is you could file whatever you want to file, try to file, but you ain't going to get anything. I mean, file away. They said, fuck, they go away.
I think that's really important for people, non-lawyers in particular, to understand. It costs whatever it costs to file a motion or a lawsuit, whatever it is. Just because something is filed doesn't mean there's any validity to it, and that's basically what happened here, it seems to me.
Right.
What is it? $435? $435 to file a federal lawsuit, or something?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's a nominal fee. It's ridiculous. But you can try to do whatever you want to do until somebody says no. Essentially, that's kind of how it works.
But I think that the answer to the question of frivolity is this, that the dissenting opinion written by Kavanaugh talks about how almost impossible it's going to be to unwind this, and that in and of itself probably gives them cover to file the appeal and say it's not frivolous because it's almost impossible. 3 Supreme Court justices agree with us. But I don't think I think it's going to get no traction anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason I also bring out the whole idea about frivolity is the queen of frivolous lawsuits, it seemed, is at least somebody who was trying to be the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. Lindsay Halligan apparently is now run afoul of the Florida State Bar that is investigating her for, I believe, this very issue. Or one of many.
Right.
So
That is true. Yep.
let's see how that goes for Lindsay. Well, if you thought that there were fireworks with Kristi Noem and all of the salacious stuff about tabloid journalism and tabloid garbage, as she said, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State and presidential candidate Hillary Rodham Clinton each gave depositions in Chappaqua, New York. They didn't have to go very far. Literally, the mountain came to Muhammad, where the House Oversight Committee went there to go ahead and get some information regarding their potential knowledge about Jeffrey Epstein. And Hillary really brought it to Nancy Mace and also to Lauren Boebert.
Good for her. Every time I see her testify, I'm filled with remorse over what we could have had. But, with her as president, like one of the smartest women in Washington, I would have felt perfectly fine with her as president. But yeah, she was great. And her exasperation and her I'm out of fucks attitude that she had is just outstanding. I'm done. We all agreed to, follow the same rules. And you can just see little Lauren Boebert up there, with her little camera phone, and it's just like, oh, God.
What she said was, I'll take it down. I'll take it down.
I'll take it down. I'll take it down. Yeah, right.
Well,
After she sent it to somebody whose job is to put it online, but
Yeah, exactly. She gave it to Benny Johnson, who immediately put it online. So
her opening statement was masterful. I mean, it was unbelievable the way that she laid that out. And she really, I don't think Hillary Clinton's had a fuck since Bill was president.
Oh no, she's definitely she's
so
fresh
done.
out of fucks, but when she expresses that attitude, it's like a thing of beauty. So
and the way that he defended her in his was kind of nice too. And I still don't know what I believe about Bill or not. I am happy to believe the worst about Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
But defending her was a beautiful thing, because that he was right. The next person that should be up should be Melania Trump, who we have photographic proof that she knew Jeffrey Epstein and did all those things.
Yeah,
we had enough deep fakes to prove that Hillary did.
Where do you spend your time on the internet, Bill?
Actually, well, they're all over Facebook. I mean, it's amazing to me that
but Bill, my algorithm doesn't go there. It's gentler.
We have one video.
We're up in Madison Heights.
We have one video which we haven't used, which is basically on the coverage of the Iran war from the right.
Or is the opposite of what he promised their viewers. It's a tough needle to thread, and it put Pete Hegseth's former co-host Will Cain in a bit of a pickle last night when he interviewed retired General Jack Keane.
It's not 100% clear to me, General, and that's not to suggest that I don't support 100% what is happening, nor that I 100% offer my support. I just think I want to ask a couple of critical questions, and I hope you know how much respect I have for your service. And I think it goes without saying to anybody watching how much respect I have for the men making this decision.
You don't have to patronize me. Just ask the question.
And on the other side of the coin, you have Greg Kelly over on Newsmax, who seems to think that this war is about checking out chicks.
Well, that's what Iranian women used to look like before the Ayatollah Khomeini showed up. Could look like that again. I'll see you tomorrow.
Does he know he's on television?
This is what I'm talking about at the top of the show. That's, yeah.
I think actually they still look like that. It's just that you don't get to see it. Yeah. And his concern about Iranian women being liberated would probably sound a little bit more valid if it wasn't about killing 165 little girls. Which
Let's have the
which
same
is
concern about women in this country that are looking at having their vote suppressed too.
yeah, with the same archive.
I think it's very important to go back to what Nancy just said about, thinking about what it could have been like if Hillary would have been elected president. And I just think there's something deeply disturbing about where we are in this country. We've got Trump, let's admit it, we've got Trump because we had the audacity to elect President Obama.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And the truth is, if we would have elected Hillary, God knows what would have happened. This country is so racist and so sexist that it cannot comprehend putting women and people of color in positions of power. We can't comprehend it. I mean, listen to these people, the MAGA group, talk about, hey, we had to put up with 8 years of Obama.
Right. Yeah, how terrible that was. It really was.
You got better health care.
Yeah.
Fixed the economy. We had periods of hope in this country. What the did you put up with? So I'm sorry.
They had to know. They had to wake up every day knowing there was a black man sleeping in their house. That's what they had to put up with.
That's exactly right. And look, we have to own up to this, because if we don't, we're never going to get over it. We've got to own what a sexist, racist country we still are if we're ever going to start to move forward.
And erasing
it was pretty scandalous.
Yeah, I'm sorry, whitewashing our past, which is Trump's doing, doesn't help that out, obviously. We are a country that is going backwards. We are a country that forgot how we got to a place that was wonderful, all things being equal. Again, we're lost, and it's a Pied Piper. I don't understand it. You don't understand it, why people believe it's sexual predator lying president. No, I don't get it. But there is a spell, and until that spell's broken, we are going to continue to go down this road. And I don't know what the hell's going to break that spell.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like they won't believe anything about him until they see an actual photograph of.
And they won't believe that, and they won't care.
Having sex with a 13-year-old. Yeah, and then they'll just say, "Yeah, exactly."
I mean, some of the things that were just released today, as far as the Epstein files and the allegations of him with a 13 to 15-year-old and punching her and all of this. I mean, all the rules have changed when it goes to that. Well, I do want to ask your opinion.
We're talking about a man who criticized President Obama for wearing a tan suit. What the hell?
Well, I mean, come on. The handsome black man in a tan suit drove them crazy. Yes, well, you and Mr. Duckett just were simpatico on that, Bill. Well, how are we going to deal with the Lions without, was it Knuckles or was it the other one? David Montgomery, the running back, going to the Houston Texans.
This is the point where I think let's just ask Steve what he thinks, or Joel, because he's a big
I thought it was under.
Or Allan. I guess I'm the third choice.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
I'll give you Montgomery's on the wrong side. Get him to be 30. He's expensive. I don't think it's a bad move at all. I mean, running back, you can replenish. He's a very good back, but he's not a special back. So I think they save a lot of money on the salary cap. They'll draft another back. I think they'll sign the back. There's a guy named Connor from the Cardinals, who their offensive coordinator had coached before, who's a very similar runner to Montgomery. He's a banger. He gets short yardage. He'll get you touchdowns. So I expected it. It's sad to see the band breaking up because I really like the music, but maybe this guy can play. So I think they'll be just fine. It's not his critical position to replace as others.
I think that's an excellent summation.
Thanks so much.
I would say though, we may never have another vegan player on the Detroit Lions. I mean, it's sad because you get attached to these players. That's the joy of the sport, is that it's more joyful when you get to know who the players are and you're more invested in the team. Montgomery was a great guy. He was a humble guy. He was a solid player, but
excellent back.
I think they can find somebody. It's not going to be I mean, Gibbs would be a much bigger loss, but David Montgomery, I mean, he was a great guy and he was a solid player.
He also
play more. He wanted more time.
Yeah, I think the only part I agree with the analysis completely of both Allan and Joel. The only part I would add is he wasn't looking forward to it, but he knew he had to leave. He knew he had to leave. If he wanted to get more playing time, he had to go.
Absolutely right.
If he wanted more money, he had to leave. So
you're right, because next year's a contract year for him. So he had 1 year left on his deal, right? So he's got to get touches. He's got to be productive because he has one more good contract in his body. So he needs to leave in order to take care of himself and his family.
Didn't he leave a charming farewell message too?
He did. He's wonderful. Everybody loves Montgomery. He was great, man. It was great.
Yeah.
People will cheer for him when he comes back.
Absolutely. It's like Stafford. You got to appreciate what they gave to this team. Montgomery gave everything he had on that field. He finished every run. He was quite the player.
It was, as you say, like when Stafford was back. I mean, the guy was so good to the city. He was good to the Lions. It wasn't like he was dissing the Lions when he left. And when he comes back, sometimes his fans are booing him and just being really kind of rude to him. I think it's just, it's bullshit. There's no, it's all transactional with a lot of fans. You do me good, I'll love you. You suck, fuck you,
I think we need to all go to a Lions game with that banner. Well, one of our viewers asked the question, any comments about FanDuel pulling out of the regional sports network, I think in April, and certainly it's going to affect NBA and NHL coverage. Any notions on this?
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you have, I mean, right now, the alternative will only be the Red Wings and the Tigers on the same channel. And if it's separate from the Pistons, right now you can get all three. I'm not going to pay I pay $20 a month. I'm not going to pay $40 for both. So I'm into the Pistons, but I may wait to get that, wait till the playoffs are over, whatever, and get.
I honestly, I listen to the Tigers on the radio, and I just keep Field of Dreams on, and so basically Shoeless Joe is batting every time.
Do they still play the little song before the Tiger baseball broadcast on the radio? Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
Nancy looks confused. This is a very Detroit thing.
I mean, we were so lucky growing up in Detroit with Ernie Harwell and George Cal. I mean, Ernie Harwell is like just, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Tiger Baseball.
The turtles come out of the gun. Yeah, I love
the man from Paul, Michigan.
He probably had like 7 families. We probably don't know the backstory with that guy.
That's how I feel for most of the sports.
Right. Like there's something just back there, like Charles Osgood from like the Sunday. Like he gave 2, like what? Charles Osgood. Yeah.
The sentimental nostalgia in this town just is bottomless. So
remember
Ernie Harwell,
especially about Motown,
toxic
right?
sentiment.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, it's like, a friend of mine and I went to see that Mitch Albom play about Ernie as a joke, and it was just about as ridiculous as I feared it would be. That kind of that sap. You could just see these old boomers leaving because the theater is right across from Comerica. You can just see these old boomers walking out of that with tears running down their face. It's like once again, the man with the golden keyboard has turned tears and sap into gold, shall we say? So there you go. So
well, that's
he's
not
about, he's about the same size as Rumpelstiltskin, Nancy. So that kind of makes sense. All right.
I did see that. I saw that play. I mean, I did not walk out with tears, but for those of us, Nancy is a.
I understand. I'm an outsider. That's why I keep my mouth shut.
We grew up, with our transistor radios, listening in the car to that voice, and it was
summer camp.
Such a golden voice and so soothing and so just entertaining. It was just
all right. I don't know how many days are left in Purim this year, Alan, but for next year, my wish for you in Purim is dressing up like Gene Wilder with the transistor radio from Silver Streak.
Great image.
Just
God, I love it.
perfect. All right, let's go to the last segment then.
Downtown Detroit, Robert Wells, Schmuck of the Week.
All right.
I
Well,
love
Fish
that so much when he says that.
Fish had to leave a bit early, but let me tell you who his schmuck of the week is. It's Kristi Noem's husband, who had to just sit there while his wife was grilled about her relationship with the knucklehead Corey Lewandowski.
With the cuckold's horns growing out of his head the whole time.
How humiliating.
I know.
How humiliating in front of the world.
Yeah.
Are you
now,
you know, like, oh my God.
Joel, look, listen, we're all God's creatures and we have to go ahead and not be judgmental. Maybe he's into the cuckoldry.
He could
Oh,
be.
he is.
I mean,
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Because you know what?
That's her place. That's her bet. Yeah.
He
Okay.
showed up.
My brain is not going to be able to undo that image for a while.
Yeah.
That's not going.
Elon and the Millers, Stephen and Katie, had a throuple. So that was the story in Washington.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Ooh.
Imagine those three hideous-looking people
Don't
like
make us.
entangled in a. Oh.
What was the comedian who made a joke that you have to be careful if you do a doggy style with Kristi Noem? She might shoot you.
Okay, I want to do my schmuck of the week.
Okay.
Bill, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I want to create the couple. It's Kristi Noem. I'm not going to have we may not have as many opportunities to beat up on that bitch. I'm not sorry about that. Jeez, I don't know how that got out of my mouth.
Don't use a gendered insult. That's fine.
I try not to.
I know.
I really was trying to catch it. That woman is as bad a person as you could ever imagine. She's terrible, and I'd like to meet her attorney. I've never seen anybody so ill prepared to answer the most obvious questions that she was going to get asked than Kristi Noem. She's arrogant, but I'll tell you something. Other than this one mistake, she is Trump's girl. She looks like a Trump girl. She acts like a Trump girl. The guns,
She went through a lot of painful plastic surgery to become Trump's girl. So there.
Well, it's actually become known as the Mar-a-Lago look.
It is.
Yeah.
She's got the Mar-a-Lago. She's got the ringlets.
Mar-a-Lago
A
face.
friend of mine calls her the Secretary of Hair Extensions. So there you
I
go.
like this goodbye immigration Barbie.
Yeah.
The woman is so offensive, and to spend that much money on ads that are only designed to present her.
Yeah.
No one else. I mean, I'll tell you, I have to turn and look away when I'm going through TSA and see those things up.
Going to be gone now.
Yeah.
Look on the bright side.
Right.
Thanks God.
Okay. All right. Barb.
I have two, as usual. Susan Collins, everyone's favorite, who voted against reining in Trump's war powers because she was concerned, no doubt.
She's very concerned about that.
I just
Everybody who voted against the war powers resolution should be
or RFK.
I agree with you completely.
Okay.
And the other one is Senator Tim Sheehy, who broke the arm of activist Brian McGinnis, who was a Marine, a decorated Marine, who was he disrupted the Senate Armed Services Committee. Whoops. And threw him out. And, you can say you shouldn't disrupt these hearings. And this is something that Code Pink does weekly. Right. And places like that, but you don't break their bones. No. That was just a really horrible moment to see that. And apparently, after they took him to the hospital, no one really knew where he was for a long time, the Marine dude. So that's how they treat any kind of dissidents in this stupid administration. Yeah. So those are my two.
All right, those are ones. Let's see, Joel.
I'm going to go with Corey Lewandowski, who is Paramore
The trio.
Kristi Noem. That guy's been a schmuck for a long, long, long time. You know, and it bothers me that schmucks like him are visible and in government. You know, it drives me insane. My other one is Pete Hegseth, who's not just an idiot, but you know, there's a toxic masculinity that is the ethos of this administration and this Department of War that's going to kill everybody. Yep. They're driven by what they think a man should be or do without, you know, this it's not even a platonic ideal. It's this crazy fucking warrior theme. And to see him talk in such a flippant manner about what's happening is so dishonest. He's just an asshole. And
he's a rapist too.
Oh, he's a rapist. There's nothing good about that.
And I totally believe that woman when she came up with the detail. She was so out of it. She was so drunk that she just remembers his dog tag swaying back and forth over her face as he assaulted her. And I thought,
he's just an awful human being. So, and again, that he's leaving that department is just an obscenity. So
I'm hoping he spends more time with his family very soon. So,
Nancy.
Okay. This one is, I guess, collectively, I'm giving it to the conservative students of South Florida. The secretary, I'll just read you this very brief piece from the Miami Herald. The secretary of the Miami-Dade County's Republican Party started a group chat last fall, primarily for conservative students, and within 3 weeks, it was filled with racist slurs. Someone wrote dozens of ways of violently killing Black people, and the chat was renamed after what one member described as Nazi heaven. In WhatsApp conversations leaked to the Miami Herald, participants used variations of the N-word more than 400 times, regularly described women as whores, used slurs to talk about Jewish and gay people, and mused about Hitler's politics. Wow. Wow. You know, wow. So
they call him the man with the mustache.
Yeah. Oh, the man with the mustache. Okay.
The man with the mustache. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this is.
I know Hitler. He destroyed the name Hitler. I mean, Hitler's market would have been great. I mean, I would have gone. You know, if he had bastardized his own name, Hitler's is just a Hitler.
You can't. The only person I've ever seen I knew one guy who named their cat Hitler because it was born with like a mustache right there.
That's food. Hitler's. Yeah, it's just, you know,
it's a great name.
Just ruined the name. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Alan.
I'm going to go with my man Mark Wayne Mullen, who's just a brickhead. I mean, he's been sucking up to Trump so long, and I guess he's finally getting his payoff. My other is Melania and Usha Vance, who remain with their husbands despite all the bullshit.
Usha's got a bun.
Stand up. She's
got a bun in the oven. She's got to stay until, you know, can't be. Yeah. So there. Yeah. But I have it on my big, but I don't think I'm going to get this one. JD and Usha Vance split.
Wow.
So
I think when that baby pops out, she's gone. Or babies.
It's due in July, so we'll find out. There's still time in 20.
When are they taking delivery on the new couch? Is it also in July?
They got a pair of love seats.
Yeah. Let's not forget Erica Kirk. I mean, you know, there's that.
Please let's forget Erica Kirk.
So you do know that Kristi Noem actually thought she was safe from Trump's "you're fired" screed because she let Melania fly on that same bougie plane. So she thought, well, you can't fire me for that. Well, I've got two. One is the chinless Dauphin with the big nose, heir apparent of the throne of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, who seems to be so concerned about the people of Iran that he wants to one day lead, that he has not mentioned one word about the fact that Israeli and American forces bombed a girls' elementary school in Iran, killing 165 girls. Not one peep out of him.
Yep.
And the other is an even more odious class of people. Social media influencers who live in Dubai migrated there because Dubai was welcoming them to come there and extol the virtues of all of the excess of Dubai. Well, now, as they're doing their jobs, apparently the Dubai authorities are saying if you post anything that is showing the bombs falling and showing things getting destroyed, because after all, we're supposed to have good defenses and all. Anything that would besmirch Dubai from becoming what it always is a tourist, I pardon for the word, mecca, despite the fact that you can't fly in or out of it right now, is going to land you in trouble, which could mean detention or imprisonment or even deportation. But the fact that these people made a Faustian deal with probably the most corrupt regime in the area makes them my schmucks, and I guess I'm not going to Dubai anytime soon either now.
Good for you.
And that's okay.
Goodbye to that.
Well, thank you again for all of our viewers and everybody for tuning into another episode of The Week That Was. We hope that we have provided you with not only analysis, but also a little bit of levity in what has been a very, very difficult week. I'm not sure when's the last time we had a fully mirthful week, but that's okay. We're still going. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Steve, wherever you are now. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Nancy. And thank you, and with the last word, always, Allan.
Drive home safely.
Drive home safely.